You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Good morning, and welcome to Mission Matters Live, a program focused on promoting a spirit of mission among the people of God in the Archdiocese of Chicago. My name is Megan Mio. I'm the director of the Global Mission Office, and I'm working with our engineer, Mike. You're listening to WNDZ 750 AM, and this month we broadcast on the third Thursday of the month from 8:30 to 9 a.m. And this morning we have with us Comboni priest Father Godwin Kornu, who is originally from Ghana in Western Africa and has been a Comboni priest for over 20 years. He studied and was in formation in Togo, Congo, Rome, and he even studied here in Chicago for a time at the Catholic Theological Union. He was sent on mission to minister in both Chad and in his home country of Ghana. And today he's living and ministering at the Comboni Mission Center in Grange Park. Comboni missionary priests and the lay missionaries as well have participated in our summer mission appeals for many years. So I think a lot of our local archdiocesan folks will have heard of the Comboni, especially those who are on the western suburbs near Grange Park. But Father Godwin is new to the Grange Mission Center, and so we wanted to just get to know him a little bit, hear about his experience in mission, and learn again about the Comboni missionary. So good morning and welcome, Father Godwin.
Good morning to you, Megan, and good morning to our listeners too.
Great, it's good to have you. We have not we haven't met in person yet, but it's nice to see your face here for those who are able to see our video. Welcome back to the Chicago area as well.
Thank you.
As I mentioned in my introduction, you're originally from Ghana, and it sounds like you've traveled quite a few different areas over the course of your life, your ministry, and your formation. So would you mind just telling us a little bit more, in addition to some of those general statements I said at the introduction? Tell us about yourself.
Good. Well, I was born in a totally Christian family. My father's side, all the uncles and nephews, everybody was a Catholic. So I was born and raised in a Catholic environment. My father himself was a catechist for many years, I would say 50 years, because that jubilee was celebrated for him by the bishop himself.
Wow.
And I have to say, once I knew my biological family, I knew also the church as my family. And so I relate to the church, or the church is to me really my own family. I also have an elder brother. We are 5 boys and 1 girl, but I have one of my elder brothers who is also a Catholic priest, Monsignor Anthony Kornu. We are all we are siblings, and he became a priest before me. And so briefly, the Catholic Church is my family, and that's what I belong to.
Well, you said your father was a catechist, and just correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is, especially in Africa, that catechists are leaders, are trained lay leaders of local communities, local churches. Is that correct?
Exactly. That is what he did. You teach the catechism, but you are also the one to lead the prayers if the priest is not around.
Right. Yeah. A little bit of a different understanding than catechists here in the U.S. anyway, who are typically working with children and teaching the faith, which is a very important and leadership role as well. But in terms of, in places where there's the priest can only visit occasionally, a catechist is very, very important. You definitely, I can see that the church is your family, given that the role your father played. And then how interesting that you have a brother who's a brother priest and a real brother as well.
Yes.
And then in the course of your time as a Comboni priest, where have you ministered and what types of ministries were you involved in?
Well, mainly I did pastoral ministry in a parish context and also information houses. They are the two. I would say for the parish experience, it was both a rural one and also urban one. I had the opportunity to do both. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe we'll hear a little bit more about that a little bit later. But you also had formation in a variety of different locations, including some time here in Chicago. And that was probably unique to you being a missionary priest. Is that right? That you were kind of expected to adapt and go to different contexts and learn.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were different stages to your formation, right?
Yes, please. And so we have, in the very beginning, after you have been an aspirant, you may have also prepedeutic, but at our time, we didn't have that. We went straight to the postulancy, and I did that in Lomé, in Togo. Then the second stage is that of novitiate, which I did in Congo. By then, they call it Zaire, Democratic Republic of Congo. And it was after that, when I took my first vows, religious vows in 1994, that I came to Chicago for my theology.
So that was sort of like the final educational steps that you took.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Chicago is very diverse student population at the Catholic Theological Union. And so was that your first visit to the United States for those studies?
Yes, it was the first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely adapting to a lot of different contexts in that case, for sure.
Yeah.
What were your memories of your time here in Chicago before?
Oh, I have a lot of good memories of Chicago. And at that time, we were students. We never knew that was the best part of our lives. Because all we had to think about is how to pass our exams. You do your studies, you write your exams, you pass.
Wow.
The rest, well, you are healthy and everything, and it was really wonderful.
Yeah.
But in the school also, Catholic Theological Union really helped. I have to say that even the present president, Sister Barbara Reed, was the one who taught me the Gospel of Mark. And I had wonderful professors. I cannot mention all of them. Of memory is Bob Schreiter, who had been so great a professor. Yeah. But I also have Diane Bergant, who was insisting on the fact that we have to be practical theologians everywhere that we go. And that keeps on ringing in my ear up till today. Yeah. I also, one of the things also I retained was from Steve Bivens, who was doing a course for us on priesthood. And I took one imagery from him, that the priest is is somebody who is like an orchestra director. He doesn't need to know how to play all the musical instruments, but he has to know how to bring them together. And in case one is too loud, to tell it to go down. If one is too low, to go a little bit up, and conduct in such a way that the music will really be something that everybody will enjoy. So I kept that imagery as I go along my ministry.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing that it stayed with you all these years. That's good. I mean, I think
I have many memories.
it was good formation. It was a good experience. Yeah. But it also was true to, it was useful. Like it was true to what the reality is for ministry, and as a missionary in particular. I think that you named those professors. Those are people I also was very lucky to have taken courses with a little bit more recently, but that they're just the powerhouses when it comes to missiological ministry and theology and scripture. You mentioned that as well. So just to talk a little bit about what it is specific to be a Comboni too, I note that on the Comboni Missionaries of North America website, it says that the Combonis were founded in 1867 by Saint Daniel Comboni, hence the name. It is an international Catholic organization dedicated to ministering to the world's poorest and most abandoned people. And so just wanted to hear from you, Father Godwin, what, you had your own vocation process and you came to this particular vocation of a Comboni missionary priest. But what is it about the congregation, in your own words, that makes it unique and that drew you to it?
Well, in a way, we share a lot of things with many other Catholic congregations. As a religious group, we also take the same vows that Franciscans also take. But our specialization or the field of work is the first evangelization among the poorest and the most abandoned. Sometimes you may struggle with the first evangelization because somebody will ask, why are you in Chicago now? Well, here we need to do mission animation. And also we will have some parishes to work with. Those who were here before, they had parishes. But for us, is going to a place that nobody wants to go. And yet the gospel needs to be announced there, then we are called upon. I think for the 5 continents, we are only now not in Australia, but we are found in Africa, Europe, America, and also Asia.
Yeah, I get the sense too that Combonis are willing to go to places where there's conflict, right? Places where the need is so basic, like you said, the poorest, those most in need, communities that it's hard to get into as well, but there's great need there. And it's amazing to think Combonis are around the world just about. Is that what drew you? Is that what kind of, how did you first get to know the Comboni congregation in the first place?
My parish was first abandoned. There was no priest until the Comboni missionaries came and took over. So my parish priest was a Comboni missionary. So when I approached him and said, well, I have the desire, I want to be a priest, he oriented me in a way because I joined then the aspirant group, and which was being oriented towards the Comboni missionaries. So it just followed automatically. It was not that difficult for me.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah. I think that introduction at a young age is important, that you get to see the work in action and it inspires you. You want to be part of that movement. Well,
exactly.
It's time for our break now, but we'll be right back to continue talking with Father Godwin Kornu, Comboni priest. Stay with us.
Did you know that Catholic Charities accepts car donations? If you're ready to free up space in your garage and put a stop to all those expenses that go along with owning a car, we will gratefully accept your donation, whether the car is running or not. You choose a pickup time that is convenient for you, and we will make the donation as easy as possible free of charge. You'll receive a charitable donation receipt as well. We accept all types of vehicles nationwide, and you will know that your donation is made to Catholic Charities, an agency you can trust. To learn more about donating your car, call 877-786-4483. That's 877-786-4483. Thank you.
We are at the Most Blessed Trinity Parish Food Pantry in Waukegan.
And here we care for people in need. There was definitely an uptick in the needs for services.
We doubled our volume after COVID hit, from servicing about 250 families a week to about 500 a week. We supply bread, tortillas, vegetables, milk, cheese, butter, proteins, fish, chicken, eggs.
Well, the annual Catholic Appeal has been a tremendous help to us, especially over the past year and a half.
Without the annual Catholic Appeal, we might have to close our doors. Our parish is the largest one in the Archdiocese, but is very poor. We think about food and we think about nourishment, but we also nourish the soul, provide that connection to humanity.
The good works here are made possible through the Annual Catholic Appeal. Make your gift at annualcatholicappeal.com.
At Catholic Charities, we fight hunger in Chicago throughout the year. Our 6 regional offices in Cook and Lake counties work together to offer sit-down and to-go meals to anyone in need. We deliver meals to those who are homebound, and our 8 food pantries offer 3 to 4 days of food supplies based on household size. Participants in these programs have the opportunity to learn about other Catholic charity services that strengthen individuals, families, and their communities. The challenges for those dealing with food insecurity are especially great during the winter months. To learn how you can help those who are hungry in your neighborhood, visit CatholicCharities.net or call 312-655-7525. That's 312-655-7525. Thank you for your generosity.
Welcome back to Mission Matters Live. I am Megan Mio, Director of the Global Mission Office, and I'm here with Father Godwin Kornu, a Comboni priest who recently joined the community at the Comboni Mission Center in Grange Park. And you were just seeing, if you're viewing our video feed, a glimpse of the Comboni Missionaries of North America website, which I'll just say now in the course of our interview here is very simple, easy to remember, combonimissionaries.org, and that's spelled C-O-M-B-O-N-I, missionaries.org, Comboni. But I'm here with Father Godwin, and we were just getting to know you a little bit before the break, hearing a little bit about your background and your experience studying here in Chicago at the Catholic Theological Union. It's great that you have such fond memories of that time, and that what you learned there was really useful and in the course of all of your formation. And you mentioned that your ministries over that time, since you've been in active ministry, have been pastoral, have been with parishes a lot of the time. So I was wondering if we could talk a little bit more in detail about that. One of the things that occurs to me in the course of the work I do is we learn about mission dioceses, mission parishes in those dioceses. And we have parishes here. We have dioceses here in the United States. So I think sometimes it's helpful for listeners to get an image of what that is like, what things might be common about what it is to be at a parish in Ghana, for example, and then here in the Chicago area in the United States, and what might make them different. So I know that your most recent work was pastor of Our Lady of the Assumption Parish in Accra, Ghana, correct?
Yes, please.
And Accra, which is the capital of Ghana, right?
Exactly.
Major city, yeah. I wonder if you could just tell us about parish ministry there. What things would you want an American audience to hear about that?
Good. As I said before, I work also in a rural setting before coming to Accra. But as Accra, as you have it, you have people coming from all over the country, and you have even people coming from other countries. So when you have a church in Accra, the chances are that you have people from different tribes and different countries coming together. And the challenge then is to make a cohesion between them, because sometimes some people bring their tribal disputes even to church.
Wow. And
they are ready to take that, to other lands.
Yeah.
So one has to be attentive about that and take the measures not to show any partiality between the tribes and between the people. That is very important for the work in the parish center at Accra. Being also in a big town, you have more challenges, but also opportunities. For example, you want people to do things, you have people who are specialized in many fields. And what you need to know to do is to know those people and approach them. And usually they are willing to even bring their own talents, use their time and even money for certain things that the church needs. That is how to harness all the potentialities there is the challenge for the pastor to be able to do. If you know how to do it well, you will be happy. But also being a place where you have many intellectuals, because in the rural areas, it's easy. They can tell you, oh, Father, you are looking into the books. You tell us what we need to do.
Yeah, right.
But when you are in a big town, in a big city like that, where you have people who even graduates from theological schools,
sure,
you have to be careful as to how you handle it. Because people have their specialization in different fields, and you are a master of none. That is where my imagery of the orchestra, symphony orchestra director comes, because you just have to know how to bring those without creating conflict. Yeah. And since it's a big town also, you can easily rotate the people. In the village sector, you may have the same person doing this everything or the same thing all the time. And it's like it becomes a traditional king in his domain. Nobody can take it from him. But when you are in the city, you have the possibility of changing. So even to form the PPC is not a problem. Easily you can, obey the time limits without a problem.
Term limits.
So that gives that possibility there in a city environment.
Yeah. I got to say, I mean, I have my own limited experience in working in parish ministry here in Chicago, but all of that sounds very familiar to parish life here. Absolutely. There's diversity here, and I think that the role of the priest is very similar, as you say, the orchestra, leading the orchestra. And but I can also see what you said about being in the rural area. You might be the expert. Everybody turns to you for answers, and so that could be a lot of pressure. But it also it has its other pros and cons, I'm sure. Now, at this parish, I understand, at least your most recent, perhaps prior, there was a school as well as part of the parish ministries, a Catholic school. And, of course, we have Catholic schools here as well. And I'd just like to hear you describe, if you would, that ministry of the parish and how that worked, please.
Mm-hmm. I would say the school is one of the eyes of the parish. It's where even non-Catholics or non-Christians even want their children to be educated. You know, in Ghana, by and large, and in Africa, I would say, among the best schools are also mission schools and, for that matter, Catholic schools. Yeah. So you find people who, they themselves, not being Catholics or not even being Christians, they might be Muslims or so, they have also attended Catholic schools, and they love it so much that they insist that they want their children also to go to Catholic schools. And so we have them, they will come, and sometimes even if the school is far, they come and say, Father, you give me some recommendations so that they can accept also my child. And sometimes they tell you, I don't care whether my child becomes a Catholic or not, but I want a good education for my child. Yeah. And I think the Catholic schools become really a place where, you know, you can have all the children from different walks coming together and befriending each other. And therefore, for the future, this eases even the tribal tensions as they grow together. They learn a lot. The Catholic schools really, because of the discipline, I have to say that discipline makes it that the education is of a quality, both intellectually and I would say integrally, taking all the other aspects together. It gives that education which even non-Catholics, they appreciate and desire. Where I was, we called the schools OLAs. It was one school, but they said the education service divided it into two. So we have two schools on the same compound. So Our Lady of Assumption schools, that's why we call them OLAs. There are about 1,200 children.
Wow.
And ranging from nursery to junior high school.
Sure.
And we have about 65 to 70 teachers who are there. And we manage normally the priest, the parish priest for that matter, or his assistant. The one he has delegated should be the local manager. And we have also the Parents Association helping, and the school management also helping, so that the things of the day-to-day running of the school through the principal goes on well. So that is the school we have. And as I'm saying, many people, even up till today, want their children to come to our school. I know of a teacher who, after leaving that school, he was teaching in another school, will not remove her own children from our school. And I said, why not? You have to be coming here every day, picking your child and say, hey, Father, I know the quality here is far, far better than where I am teaching now. So I prefer my children to remain here.
Wow.
We are among the best Catholic schools in Accra Archdiocese.
That's amazing. Well, Father Godwin, all that sounds very familiar too to a Chicago audience. So we're so glad to have you here at the Mission Center in LaGrange. Thank you so much for sharing today. We're out of time. Time went very fast. But thank you for joining us.
Next time.
If our listeners would like to learn about the Combonis, you can go to the Comboni website, COMBONI, missionaries.org. And you might be able to get to know Father Godwin sometime for the mission appeals. So thank you very much for listening. Tune in next month for more Mission Ladders Live. Remember, always be on mission.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.